Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Recently I gave a lesson to the youth entitled Signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Around Us. The reason for this lesson was to build an appreciation in the youth about the amazing intelligent design around us, which points to the fact that there must have been a designer, a manufacturer and a creator of this universe. I began the lesson by asking them the significance of oxygen for humans. They said we can't survive without oxygen. I asked them where does oxygen come from, and they said trees and plants. I asked them what would happen if there was no plants and trees. They said we wouldn't survive. This was a great way to get them to think about the intelligent design of something so simple that we take for granted. The trees survive on our carbon dioxide and we survive on the trees' oxygen. I asked them who decided the nature of water freezing and boiling at fixed temperatures. Was it the water that decides for itself, or was it most likely something external to the water that designed it? I asked them the importance of gravity. They said it was key to our lives, as we wouldn't be able to even walk around and stop ourselves from floating into space. I asked them who decided for gravity to exist. They said it must have been some sort of designer or creator. I asked them what photosynthesis was. They explained it was the process of the plants using the sunlight, water and carbon dioxide to help it grow. I asked them what would happen if we took away one of these components. They said this would mean the plants wouldn't grow. I explained to them the significance of these plants. We wouldn't have fruits to eat, we wouldn't have wheat for bread, we wouldn't have cooking oil, and we would struggle to survive without these things. They agreed that the process of photosynthesis was definitely vital for our survival. I showed them what a water cycle was, and I asked them which part of the water cycle came first. Was it the rain? They said no, the rain depends on the clouds to form first. I said, was it the clouds that came first? They said no, as the clouds depends on the evaporation of water first. I said, so was it the evaporation that came first? They said no, as the evaporation depends on the water on the ground first. So I said, was it the water on the ground that came first then? They said no, the water depends upon the rain first. I explained that none of them came first, rather it must have been externally designed and placed into existence, as that's the only rational conclusion. So there must have been a creator of the water cycle. I asked the youth, what is H2O? They said it was the elements that made up water. They explained that H2 stands for 2 hydrogen atoms and O stands for oxygen atom, and that combined that formed water. I explained to them that if hydrogen is fire and oxygen makes fire burn even more, how did H2O, which is essentially fire and oxygen, become water, which puts out fires? They were amazed by this discovery and said that this showed intelligent design behind something simple as water. I showed them a picture of the solar system and asked them why don't planets crash into each other. They explained that the planets orbit perfectly in a system where they miss each other perfectly. I explained how the one that designed the solar system did a perfect job. I asked the youth to tell me the distance of the sun from the earth. They guessed 10,000 miles, 1 million miles, 100 million miles. I told them the answer was 490 million miles. I asked them what would happen if Earth was closer to the sun. They said we would all burn and die. I asked them what would happen if we were further away from the sun. They said we would all freeze to death. I told them that whoever created the universe chose to put the Earth in exactly the correct position so we could survive. They agreed there was intelligent design behind this. I asked them why the Earth rotates fully round once a day. They explained how if the Earth didn't rotate, we would not have night and day, and hence we wouldn't be able to sleep and rest each day. I explained what a blessing the Creator gave us by giving us night and day. This showed intelligent design again to the youth. You could go on and give even more examples of intelligent design, such as how the food chain works, how glass is made, how plastic is made, how essential the materials are that we find on Earth. In conclusion, I explained to the youth that I had only touched upon a handful of examples of things in the world that give us clear signs of a creator existing, and that there was almost endless amount of examples we could have discussed. Lessons like these are essential in building our youth up as aware individuals whose iman in the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be strengthened at the time of great disbelief we see around us, propagated by a system that shuns the existence of a creator. Further emphasis can be built by giving the youth homework to think of 20 more things around us that force us to believe in a creator. Hope you found this lesson overview about the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala around us useful. Please like, share and follow our Lead to Jannah pages on the links below, and let's lead the Muslims towards Jannah. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
نفسي بنور من فؤادي